Ba-da-ba-ba-da. From Premier Lanes Entertainment Center in Gonzales, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you the Ochsner LHSAA Bowling Championships. We open our coverage this afternoon with the girls' state championship match between the Dutchtown Griffins and the Archbishop Chappelle Chipmunks. And a pleasant good afternoon to you from Gonzales. Ken Trahan, joined by Lenny Van Gilder of CrescentCitySports.com. We are privileged and honored to be able to bring this to you once again this year on behalf of the LHSAA. And our thanks to Mr. Eddie Bonine, Vince Cassiopo, Mike Federico, and everyone affiliated with the LHSAA for entrusting in us to bring you this outstanding coverage today, tomorrow, Friday, and beyond as we cover bowling all season long and cover all sports prep at CrescentCitySports.com. Well, this is a match that was highly anticipated, and why not? Don't pay attention to the seeds. Yes, these are two of the top 4 seeds in the state, but these unquestionably were the 2 best teams in the state. The records reflect that. Dutchtown, the defending state champion, and number 2 seed, 14-0. Archbishop Chappelle, the number 4 seed, at 15-0. Lenny, great to have you with us. And obviously, as I mentioned, this is what everyone anticipated.
Yeah, you mentioned seeds are one thing. This is 2 against 4. In bowling, you look at scores. These are the 2 highest scoring teams over the year in the state, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do to get here. This morning in the semifinals, no surprise. Chappelle with an easy victory over Patrick Taylor. Maybe a little bit of a surprise that Dutchtown and Albany, 2 versus 3, an unbeaten matchup, turned into a one-sided match there. Both of the finals in those 23-4 in favor of the Chipmunks and the Griffins as we set the stage for this championship match. And let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and how we got to this point. As we mentioned, it was a little more chalky than maybe what we've seen in some other areas. The one notable exception you saw there in the quarterfinals, Patrick Taylor, the 9 seed, taking out the top seed, previously undefeated HL Bourgeois. But from an average perspective, it wasn't a surprise. Patrick Taylor was the higher average team. So again, you see where we are here in terms of getting to the championship, and both of these teams with convincing wins this morning. And Dutchtown really got it done on the lanes this morning. A 32-90 team series on games of 10-83, 10-97, and 11-12. That is the highest three-game girls series in the state this year. As Dutchtown, who has not lost a match since the state semifinals 2 years ago, is looking to repeat, which is something we haven't seen a lot of on the girls' side.
And these two sides are familiar with each other. In fact, Chappelle has beaten all comers in recent times with one exception.
Dutchtown a year ago beat Chappelle in the regular season, beat Chappelle in the semifinals. It's the only two losses Chappelle has had the last 2 years. So that gives you an idea of there's certainly revenge on the minds of the Chipmunks, and there's certainly repeat on the minds of the Lady Griffs.
Spotlighting top bowlers on this team for Dutchtown, they've got three bowlers with 180 or better averages, including Addison Lejeune, the sophomore, at 180. Jenny Alday-Logue at 187. But, of course, the most notable player would be the best bowler in the state on the girls' side in the LHSAA, Sydney Lee, the junior. 217 average, tops in the state, and, of course, the reigning singles champion in Louisiana.
Yeah, won a year ago in the first year of the stepladder format, defeating an outstanding bowler in Paris Mendones from Airline. And she has just kept it up this year in terms of, her performance. That 217 average, the second highest by a girl in the history of high school bowling in Louisiana.
Meanwhile, on the Archbishop Chappelle side, the Chipmunks have two bowlers averaging better than 200, including Elizabeth Hamilton, the junior, who's at 202, and Olivia Barres, also a junior, at 204. And speaking of which, when you look at these teams, these are young teams. And this seems to be a theme amongst the boys and girls with the better teams this year. A lot of young teams in there. If you look at Chappelle's top six bowlers, they do not have a senior in that mix. If you look at Dutchtown's six bowlers that are scheduled to bowl, you don't have a senior there either.
Right, and you'll see, they'll work in. Chappelle will use 7-8 bowlers on a regular basis, sometimes more than that, especially the way they have won matches on a regular basis this year, dominating fashion. They've been able to go deep into their bench. And in fact, talking to Olivia Barres before the match, it's like she's bowled 3 games in a match, I think, one time all season long in 15 matches. So that gives you an idea that they don't need their best for all 3. They've got matches usually clinched after 2, and they can start substituting with regularity. So this is, you got a lot of facts here, really, for both of these teams. Now, Dutchtown has probably been pushed a little bit more, had some closer matches this year than Chappelle has. When we get down to the third game, and this is 8-8, 9-7 perhaps, what is the response going to be from these two teams who aren't used to being in the situation of being in a close match?
Interestingly, Barres has had success individually against Lee, winning the U18 Pepsi Championship, beating Lee in the final a year ago.
Yeah, and they faced each other a lot. Let me tell you, I mean, you go look at junior bowling tournaments, and you're talking about it's Olivia, it's Sydney, it's Jordan Wingirter from St. Joseph's Academy, who we'll see on Friday in singles. Her team got beat in the quarterfinals by Dutchtown. Some other, Caroline Angeron from Albany is in that mix, who got eliminated in the semifinals today. It's that group that seems to always be in the mix at the end of these U18 tournaments, and so they're no strangers to each other. If they had a hug for each other. They're friends and probably don't want to have to go head-to-head with a state championship on the line. They'd rather be facing maybe somebody they're not as much friends with. So because that means one of the friends is going to win and one of the friends is going to lose when the day is over.
Of course, the match play format is such that there are 6 matches per game. The highest average bowler going against the highest average bowler on the opposing team, and so on down the line. And a point is awarded to each individual based on that particular matchup. And at the conclusion of each game, 2 bonus points are awarded to the team which knocks down the most pins. That's repeated in games 2 and 3. And then when the competition is complete, there are 3 super bonus points that are awarded to the team that wins the overall total pin count. Therefore, 14 points is the magic number to get to victory. And when you look at this matchup here today, as we show you that graphic of what to expect here, if you're not familiar with the format, that pretty much gives it all to you, but we'll certainly detail it during the course of the webcast. Chappelle, I should say, has an edge on the low pit in terms of averages. If you're just going strictly by averages, the lower average bowlers for Chappelle have a slight edge over the Dutchtown bowlers. Meanwhile, on the high side of things, Sidney Lee provides a big advantage, obviously, but then you look at the other matchups, and they're pretty interesting there because Chappelle would have an advantage in one and Dutchtown in the other. So you can't always go by the numbers. One other thing to point out, too, is that Dutchtown is from this region, so
this is their home
more
center.
Familiarity with this bowling center.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that obviously, home lanes make a difference. A lot of these girls get up this way and bowl in different events, so it's not like they're total strangers to it. But obviously, when you're bowling in a center where your home matches are, that certainly plays to it. Dutchtown, we mentioned trying to do something hasn't been done a lot of, Ken, and that's repeat as a state champion. As you look at the past state champions on the girls' side, the last 10 years, Dutchtown won a year ago, defeating Denham Springs. Denham Springs won there. You see, you got to go back to 19 and 18 with Academy of Our Lady from the West Bank. Erin Burkhart, Danielle Poussard leading those teams to back-to-back state titles in 2018 and 2019. That's the last time we had a repeat. You see Chappelle's title in 21 on there. So they're looking for a second title in 4 years. But beyond that, you don't see a lot of history of teams repeating. You go back to the very beginning of Louisiana high school bowling. Denham Springs won the first 4 girls' titles. AOL is the only other one to repeat. Dutchtown could add their name to that list here this afternoon.
The wealth being spread, we should mention we'll have the boys' championships tomorrow, and one note about that as well. This sport continues to grow, and I'd like to think we played a little part in that based on the publicity we provided now for many, many years with this website and its previous iteration, and we're very grateful that's the case. And the best evidence of that is not just the audience we have watching today via our stream, the audience here in attendance as well, but the fact that there's another division in bowling this year. That means more schools, more teams are participating in the sport. We saw that in the New Orleans region this year with a lot of new participants, but so many more that they've created 2 divisions on the boys' side. Therefore, tomorrow we'll have 2 different championship matches to show you, Division 2 and Division 1, and that's great for this sport.
Absolutely it is, and it continues to grow, and and the quality of bowling as well. We'll talk about on the boys' side, 32 bowlers averaged over 200 this year. The quality is getting better, not just the quantity.
All right, why don't you set the lineups here for these 2 teams as they line up in the 1 through 6 category for each team for Archbishop Chappelle and Dutchtown. Lenny?
Yeah, we're going to see as they're going through the final huddles. We've got to get those final lineups brought into it. We'll go through them here as soon as we get them, but both teams huddling up at this point. Dutchtown has been pretty well set.
Yeah, sure.
Dutchtown has been pretty well set with Jewel Boatner, Ginny Andolfo, Addison Acord, Addison Lejeune, Jada Alday-Logue, Sidney Lee. That is how they, that is how they started the opening match. For Chappelle, they started with, and we'll see how they line up here, but Mary Dufresne, one of the seniors, at number 1. Mia Bella Harvey at 2. Taylor Bourdonnais started the first match at 3, and then Alex Young, Elizabeth Hamilton, Olivia Barres. So let's see just how Chappelle will line up, because again, they've used so many. We mentioned they've got 8 bowlers in singles, qualified in singles this year. So it's
Take Aubrey out. Okay. Jenny's 2. Jules 1. Jenny.
So as we get set to go here.
All right, so we have Dutchtown's lineup. It's going to be Jewel Boatner in the 1 spot, Ginny Andolfo bowling in the 2 spot, and Addison Acord in the 3, Addison Lejeune in the 4, Jada Alday-Logue in the 5, and Sidney Lee in the 6. And we're just getting underway here to start this match on the high pair for Archbishop Chappelle. Alex Young getting things started for Chappelle on the high pair as we get set for the low pair to get started as well. As we're well underway here with the start of today's match. Meanwhile, here's the first shot for Dutchtown on the high pair, and that's going to be a split. So not exactly what you wanted to see. Addison Lejeune. And again, we'll keep you posted on all matches throughout We'll double check the Chappelle lineup for you momentarily. We think we've got that down pat, but again, you have to wait until they can tell you specifically about those lineups. Open frame here for Chappelle at number 4. Tough spare when you have double wood, and not just double wood, but a 3-pin spare to make things even more difficult in that circumstance. So it looks like you're going to have an open frame at both spots at number 4, barring a tremendous conversion on the right side for Dutchtown by Lejeune.
So it's the Chappelle left side is Cassidy Schroeder, Mary Dufresne, Taylor Bourdonnais, with the regular right side of Young, Hamilton, Barres. So Schroeder and Dufresne getting the start here. And look, that's seniors trying to get some of that experience here in a match like this. Yeah, maybe they're not the 6th highest average bowlers, but it does make some senses. Now
we
Hamilton
get 2 5-7s. That's the second 5-7 for Chappelle already. He had a 5-7 from Cassidy Schroeder to get things started. And that's just not a good break. You're light in the 1-3 pocket, and you figure to get better. Now you get a washout for Chappelle at number 2. So you kind of get the feeling that the Chipmunks have to get off to a good start here. You've got the reigning champion, and they've beaten them the last couple of times they've bowled them. And you've got to establish that mental ability and edge to believe that you can win, because Dutchtown clearly has that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look, they've got the experience, having been here a year ago.
All day long with a nice strike for Dutchtown in the 5 spot. We'll get a moment. We'll see Sydney Lee, best in the state, coming up. Chance for the conversion here, almost.
She made one earlier in the semifinal match, just missed that one.
Now we get a look at Sydney Lee for the first time, bowling on lane 26, right of your screen. Left-hander, great release, outstanding extension. And there you have it.
Right there. And you're going to see a lot of that. And as a former left-hander, I'm still a left-hander, but a former left-handed bowler. Okay.
There we go.
The one thing that plays to your advantage is you're not going to see a lot of transition in your shot.
And yet another 5-7 for Chappelle, as we see a strike from Barres. But 3 5-7 splits in the first frame for Chappelle.
Yeah, three.
That's amazing out of 6 bowlers.
Yeah.
And these are not bad shots.
No, it's just you've got to account for lane conditions. And one of the things that we've seen through the years, and this is the 3rd time we've seen the finals contested here at Premier over on their VIP side, where they've built out a nice stadium setting for it, is these lanes play a little bit differently than the rest of the house.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a lot more open play on this side.
And you also have a little bit of an open rack on 25 continuously between the 1-3. If you look at the rack that she gets to release right there. Watch the hit here. And couldn't quite get it there, but you got a slightly open rack on 1-3. What does that mean? You can whiff the 8-pin very easily with that. You can leave a 7-pin very easily with that. Nice spare shot. For Chappelle in the 4th spot for Alex Young. After splitting in the first, she settles in, and as the Chipmunks try to settle in here. Early on, as we're approaching the 2nd frame overall, both teams, and there's a blowout strike for Dutchtown in the 1 spot. Good spot at number 1. Almost converted a tough split there.
Yeah, that's one of those shots. The 278, yeah, you've got to try to hit it to the right side so you can get the double wood.
Boatner with the strike for Dutchtown. And a beautiful strike here for Archbishop Chappelle in the 5 spot.
Yeah,
really
Hamilton.
Strong game that Liz Hamilton has.
Yeah, she's been outstanding all year long.
Let's go, Olivia!
2 games in the semifinals, 192 and 212. She was probably their best bowler this morning.
Very good release here. Very good shot. And you can, if you know the game pretty well, you can tell almost immediately if it's a good shot. And right away you could tell that was just perfect release. Great location for all day load. It's off to a double to start things off. Barres looking for a double for Chappelle. Swings it wide, hits it back. She's got some area, and she has switched balls from when she bowled in the semifinals. Yeah. Wasn't at her best.
No, and she struggled a bit, and she'll be the first one to tell you that. And yeah, some good adjustments here early on. Seems to have a good look.
Here's Sydney Lee trying to match it. Good release. Oh, my.
Wow.
It's tough leave.
That's not a solid 5. A solid 9. The 5 blew out straight in front of the 9.
I want to get back to my original point. The rack is slightly, and I say slightly offset. Yeah. And that's a continuous
something to watch.
So it's something to watch because that's the kind of lead you end up with. Spare result in the 10-pin, which is not the easiest spare to make. Archbishop Chappelle in the 1 spot with Schroeder. Now Lee trying to convert the 9. Typically speaking, this is easy for her. Middle of the lane. She'll use the angle left to right. Tugs it a little bit, but she'll make it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, she won't do what we saw her do in the finals a year ago against Paris Mendones when she started with the front 7.
Crazy.
She actually had 5 or 6 in a row to start the first game here today.
Almost another 5-7, but not for Chappelle. I mean, they're staring at 5-7s on a continual basis here, which is crazy. Able to get the 5 out. And that's at the 2 spot with Mary Dufresne. Excellent shot here for Dutchtown in the 4 spot. Lejeune with a beautiful shot in the 3rd frame, the strike. Again, based on averages as mentioned. Slight edge to Chappelle in the low pit, slight edge to Dutchtown in the high pit based upon the numbers. And unable to convert the spare. That's going to decide the match, is who makes the most spares. You cannot have too many open frames and survive against a good team. Strikes are sexy, but spares, as we see here, are going to determine things, and that's a couple of misses for Chappelle in succession. And now a split to boot for Chappelle. So things trending down and trending up for Dutchtown because here's a triple right now in the 5 spot for All Day Low, who's off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, great. 3 very good shots. And again, we talked about Dutchtown's been here before. Okay?
Without a doubt.
They had 6 seniors on last year's team, but they also had 4 coming back.
Oh, my. Oh. Just one of those games thus far for Chappelle. Nothing going right. A lot of missed spares and a lot of bad breaks on 1-3 pocket hits. And again, that's that slightly open rack. It's the same lane.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there is Lee. And she's rolling.
Yeah, Lee is just going to up the boards and,
well, she's
take no prisoners.
Consistent. Release point is consistent. And location thus far has been consistent. And a gutter ball here. So the struggle's really apparent early on for the Chipmunks in this one. And they need Barres to continue to bowl well here. Kind of keep them afloat early.
That's a good shot.
Oh, that's another good shot. And again, a strange rack reaction.
Yeah, that was a light. That was a light hit. A light hit. A lot of times, you're not going to see the 10-pin there. But
no. But again, the reaction of pins on the left lane. That is a story that picked up on early on here to continue to watch. Tries to flatten it for the spare shot, but can't make it. And Chappelle is really struggling to make spares right now. And Dutchtown clearly establishing an early edge as a result. Chappelle has had 6 consecutive open frames amongst its bowlers. And a strike for Dutchtown. A spare for Dutchtown, I should say, in the 1 spot. Well done by Boatner. Again, spares will get it done for you. Strikes will come. Spares will win. Good release here. Right in the track and slaps out the 10-pin. Another outstanding shot and another double for Dutchtown. And another missed spare for Chappelle. So the Griffins really opening up a pretty substantial lead early.
Yeah, no doubt. One thing in bowling, Ken, there are no timeouts. You can't just stop the action and say, hey, let's settle down. No, you just got to, you bowl and then you come back and you got a chance to talk, but you can't get your whole team up and just stop things. That's doesn't work that way.
And that's when you know it's going for you. Straight through the nose and strike, and yet another missed spare for Chappelle. So Chappelle with 7 consecutive open frames across the board, and it's going to be very tough to hang in that way. Looking for 4 in a row here, and wow. Outstanding by All Day Load. Get All Day Load with 4 in a row to start things. Dutchtown looking very good early. Hamilton sends it wide. Bends it back and blows it out. Based on what I'm looking at right now, there's more room on this high side than there was on the low side that we saw earlier in the semifinals.
So far. And again, let's see. We talk oftentimes about transition. Let's see how these lanes are going to transition and who's going to handle that.
Lee, good shot. Leaves the 6.
Whether it's you have to make a move with your feet, whether it's you have to make a ball change, that's what you want to see.
Barres, who left a sweeping 10-pin last time and couldn't cover it, sends it wide, should get it back, and does. And she's got a really good shot right now. She has a lot of room. Matter of carrying, because so far she's flushed everything pretty much. Just wasn't able to convert the 10-pin. So we're going to frame number 5 here momentarily on the high pair. Frame 4 on the low pair, but that's not unusual because the higher bowlers are on the high pair of lanes. And the spare conversion taken care of. Today's coverage on Crescent City Sports, brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market. Must be a reason. Looking for a triple. Here's Lejeune. Wide, double wood.
A little bit trickier conversion when it comes to a spare.
As Andolfo strikes. Crossed over and still can't carry the Brooklyn. So Andolfo with the double for Dutchtown. We get to the 5th frame, we'll set the matches for you. That's when you really start to look and see about the spreads. And Dutchtown continuing to fill boxes. Nice double wood spare conversion.
Nice pickup by Dufresne right there. That's a hard conversion. That's
Very
2, 4,
difficult.
5, 7.
Excellent spare, and that's what Chappelle must do more of. Is they miss another spare here on the high pair. Just too many missed spares for the Chipmunks early on in this match. Looking for 5 in a row here. Here's Jada all day low. Speed a little hot. A little bit more speed perhaps on that shot. Couldn't quite get there, but leaves only the 5-pin. Got a good break on the back end. It's a relatively easy spare, if not the easiest spare on the lane. Right smack in the middle. Again, the slightly open rack on 25. Good release.
That's how to handle it.
Don't worry about the rack when you throw a shot like that.
You hit it flush, you go 10 in the pit.
Another missed spare for Chappelle. And a conversion taken care of by All Day Load. Now we get to the anchor bowlers. First up, Barres for the Chipmunks. Currently trailing by 3, but could take the lead with a strike in her match.
And would be the only lead Chappelle has at this point. So this is an enormous shot.
Yeah, she's got a lot of room.
Great shot.
She's got a lot of room. She's trying to get her team pumped up.
Yeah, and look, it's been a rough start, okay?
Very
And,
rough.
you know, but it's not over after 5 frames
it's
either.
half
There's
a game.
a long way to go.
No doubt. Lee, high. You could see that when she let it go. Little bit inside of her target. She'd been consistent up until that particular point. So we take a look at the high pair right now. At number 4, it's a 15-pin lead for Dutchtown. At number 5, it's a 42-pin lead. At number 6, Chappelle now has a 19, possibly 20-pin lead, depending on the cover here. That's a 9-count bounced it.
Wow, it bounced, yeah. It bounced. It's 20-21 is the lead.
21 now with the 2 pins converted there on the split attempt. So that's the situation on the high pair. We'll wait to the end of the 5th frame on a low pair to update you there. Clearly an edge to Dutchtown in the match in total pins and individual matches at this point. But as Lenny mentioned, a long way to go in game number 1. 6 frame starts for Dutchtown. Lejeune, wide, Washoe. Counterpart, solid 10-pin. Can't make a better shot than that.
Yeah,
really
it's
well
right there
delivered by Young. Just didn't carry. But again, the spares have been what's killed Chappelle to this point.
Yeah, you look on the Chappelle side. Let's see. On the just on the low pair, you count 10 open frames.
And got that spare. Yeah, they've been a bunch of missed spares.
Yeah.
And
then you got 7. So you get through 5 frames, you get 17 open frames.
And there's a really good spare. That's what you're looking for. For Chappelle, first mark there, and I know that's a welcome sight. For Bourdonnais, Taylor Bourdonnais. So on the low pair, and a gutter ball just now, so we're waiting to see what number 2 will do here. Strike for Chappelle. And a 5 count out at number 2 for Dutchtown. So again, things can change pretty quickly. Dutchtown with a 1-pin lead at number 2 now. That match had been decidedly in favor of Dutchtown, but it's a 1-pin lead for Dutchtown presently. 10-pin. And at number 3, Dutchtown has the lead as we speak by 18. So it's Dutchtown in 5 out of 6, but a couple of close matches that go along with that. That's wide. No washout, though. A good break. Here's Barres, who has room, no doubt.
Right
there it is again. She's got the right equipment, and she's got the right angle. And she's got a chance to bowl big. Remember, the one open frame, she left the 10-pin on a swishing shot. A bad break for her, and there's a weird miss.
And you're starting to ever so slightly see the momentum of this match creep back in the other direction.
Bit, yeah. Not enough yet for Chappelle's sake, but certainly trending the right way to at least get back in this game, because they were being dominated early. Maybe settle in, maybe the nerves dissipate.
Right. It's just another match, okay? That's the thing. Yeah, there's those 2 trophies that are sitting over in the wings to our left, okay?
Lee rebounds and strikes after the split. Everyone's aware of the history and the reputation. If you let that intimidate you, you're going to have a problem. You have to go in with the attitude that you absolutely believe you can win and that you know you're going to win.
Again, you look at, recency, at least in the playoffs, Dutchtown has put up the better scores. You look at the regular season, Chappelle put up the better scores to the tune of about 65 pins per game.
Tough leave here. 6 count. And a little high here. Dutchtown in control of that match at number 4. Tough conversion here. And that's why.
Anytime you get those multi-pin conversions out there, it gets a little bit tougher. The toughest one to make is the 3, 6, 9, 10.
And a missed 4-pin. Again, the spare shooting for Chappelle is just really letting the team down.
But they're only 13 pins down right now at number 1. I mean, you'd have gotten it back to 2 with a conversion there. And that's when you're getting the breaks, I guess, and
that's part of it.
That's it.
They're out bowling Chappelle, and they're getting some breaks, and that's a lethal combination at this point. Here's Hamilton. Good release. Got a little bit too soft.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the speed wasn't going to hold there with that. Got to be a little bit, maybe another mile an hour more than that to be able to get the ball further down the lane and project it before it turns over. Good spare. Again, Dutchtown making spares by and large. That's the clear difference in this one. So strikes and celebrations.
Yep.
Jada all day long striking for Dutchtown, and striking for Chappelle was Dufresne. Again, spares, conversions, Dutchtown. So far, the edge. Broke up a split. Number 3 for Chappelle, which is Bourdonnais. And their counterpart. Off the strike. Well done for Dutchtown by Acorn, the junior. As we push forward toward the 7th frame, let's first watch Barres, who's on a triple. She struck 5 out of 6 frames. And again, you can tell almost right away. Got that a little bit in the oil. And
right there.
Perfect. So again, the area that she has right now.
Yep, she's
no one has the shot she has.
Right, and And here's the thing, and we're going to see a lot more two-handers tomorrow. You don't see a lot in girls bowling just yet. More are coming. There will be more Olivia Barrazes out there. She's been kind of a unicorn from that standpoint, at least in our area. But
no problem for Lee in converting the seventh one.
The two-handers have the ability to open up more area on the lane because they're generating more revolutions.
Well,
and they're playing, in a lot of cases, in a different spot in the lane where the one-handers are going to be playing because of those revs.
What Barraz is doing right now, aside from being ahead in a match, is she's keeping pins close, which is extremely important in the grand scheme of things. By if one person can shoot a big score, it changes the dynamic pin-wise. Been a tough game at number 4 for Chappelle thus far, and she's better than that, Alex Young. Just hasn't been able to carry when she's had hits and hasn't been able to convert. She's got to convert a 10-pin now. Meanwhile, soft, broke it up, 9 count. Relatively easy spare coming for Lejeune. And that'll be a major spare. Got the 10-pin. And that's going to give her a lift because she's had a rough time.
She needed that. You know, that certainly can be a lift.
Absolutely.
Give you a chance here while we have a moment, Ken, to tell you today's coverage on Crescent City Sports, brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists shipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by a 25-year warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com or call 833-233-7181.
Big double for Mary Dufresne, takes the lead at number 2 for Chappelle. Oh, beautiful strike. At number 5 for Dutchtown by All Day Logue, who's just bowling a beautiful game. And a perfect shot here for Dutchtown as well. At number 2. Strikes are flowing now. That's Undolfo, Jimmy Undolfo. Now we get to the 5 spot, which has been really good for both teams thus far. And here's All Day Logue. A little bit high and through the nose.
Changes the dynamic of that match at 5 at this point. That's now, assuming no conversion here, it's now a single pin margin. And Hamilton on the strikes got a chance
Barras
to
swings
take the
this
lead.
Wide. Look at this.
Right
she
there.
has got.
She's got a great look right now.
Fantastic look, and she's executing, and she's fired up, and she's carrying her team right now to higher heights. Chappelle coming back in this game. Takes the 2 to keep the lead. The pin count's important. It's going to put her 8 pins ahead at number 5. It's an 8-pin match. And All Day Logue still ahead of Hamilton. Spare it up for Dutchtown in the 3 spot. Taken care of by Addison Acorn. As we go to Lee on the high pair. Low pair starting the 8th frame.
Yeah. You look at total pins in the match right now, and it's, what, I guess 11 pins for Dutchtown on one side, 36 on the other side. So it's, even though they've been in control of this game, it seems like it's only a 47-pin margin.
Good release by Lee, but she turned it over early. You could see that.
That jumped.
Yeah, she turned it over early. A washout, that's a very tough spare to make, and makes that match very competitive at number 1. Schroeder with the lead at the moment on Boatner, but Boatner has a chance for a spare here. And she got it. That match tightens up as a result at number 1. Here's Lee with a tough spare to cover here. And well done. Knew it right away, turned and walked.
When you know, you know.
It's a good feeling. I didn't have that too much in my later time in the game. At one time, perhaps.
Got a chance.
That's a big conversion. That's a really good shot.
That's still a lead right there, but you stay in contact.
Stay in the match with that conversion. 22 down. Meanwhile, at number 4, good release here. Slightly wide and a tough 5 count. Meanwhile, another wide shot and a washout. It's been a real struggle, unfortunately, for Young, who's a 171 average bowler, but is scuffling through a very difficult game here.
Again, you talk about total pins and all of this, and that's what you try to do, even when your match is seemingly a little bit out of reach, and maybe it's getting to that point at 32 pins in the 9th frame, then you got to try to get all the total pins you can get.
Unable to convert. Now you got a tight match at number 2. This is a swing match in this game. Both bowlers up right now trying to convert. In that match, it's a 7-pin match right now in favor of Chappelle, but that could change with one shot here. Oh, a tough chop.
Yeah, couldn't handle a double wood.
No, that's nothing wrong with the shot.
Right.
No luck whatsoever.
And this is a makeable baby split.
It is. Wide shot here in a bucket. Left, and that's a tight match. Big shot coming up for Hamilton.
Could take the lead.
And there's a big conversion. Chappelle up at 2, and now here's a big shot in this first game match coming up for Hamilton. Good release right there. And smashes it. She has a 2-pin lead.
To take the lead, yep.
Big split, though, for Chappelle on the low pair. Conversion here. That's beautifully done. That's an outstanding spare shot by All Day Long.
So, as we sit right now, Chappelle has the lead at 2, at 5, and at 6.
And at 6. And here's Barres, and total pins are big, and Barres is a primary reason for that. Another really good spare for Dutchtown on lane 23 at the 3 spot by Acorn. And here's Barres. Got that one
tight.
in.
Yeah.
And it holds. Barres building pins, and that is huge in the grand scheme here.
And every time Lee doesn't strike, that's another 10 pins on the lead.
Absolutely. Lee trying to build a bridge to the 10th here. Good shot. Yep. As soon as she let it go. Outstanding.
But
all right.
Yeah, still at this point, that is, well, we're looking at a 64-pin lead right now for Barres at number 6. So she is single-handedly keeping Chappelle in this match in terms of total pins.
Without a doubt.
And maybe a chance to steal a 5-3 game here.
Or a 4-4. A lot of things in play
Sure.
here. 9th frame, low pair, wide, 7 count.
So here's what we're looking at this point is the right pair hits the 10th frame and the left pair is in the 9th frame. You might have a shot made at number 3 that's worth 2 points in this match because total pins are that close.
And a strike for touchdown. At 1. Boner comes through in the 9th frame.
Boatner just a freshman, so this
good release here. Little wide and a washout. But she's got that match in hand. Spare conversion and spare conversion.
But again, a possible 10-pin gain here in total pins could play a big part.
Pins are huge. That's why these conversions are important. Strikes aside.
Yeah, Dutchtown is up by 36 on the low pair. Chappelle is up by actually more than 18 on the high pair right now because of those marks that they've got working. So it's probably, this is basically a dead even match in total pins.
Solid 10-pin. You can't make a better shot. Chappelle at number 2. Boy, that's an outstanding
wow, that's
shot
very
by
unusual.
Dufresne.
Yeah, that is very strange on that 2-4-8-10 to chop the 2-8.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
For a right-hander, yeah.
All right, we're getting 121 for Lejeune, or excuse me, for Young and Chappelle. 142 game for Lejeune. She wins that match by 21.
Okay, so here's the situation as we look at the right-hand pair. This is an enormous shot.
Yeah, the number
Hamilton.
5, exactly. The number 5 is the match to watch.
Yeah, Hamilton's basically got a chance for a shutout here with this first shot in the 9th. She gets strike 9 spare. She cannot
number
lose.
2, this is a conversion that Dutchtown must have if they want to win that match. It's a good-looking shot. Perfect. That match is going down to the final frame as well. Couple of swing matches, and here's one of them right here. That's right in the track. Perfect shot.
Great shot.
Perfect shot. As soon as she let it go, All Day Long is putting the pressure on Hamilton now. With a double up, and here we go. Good release. Reaction.
Soft.
Not good, and that is going to change that match and maybe flip this to...
No, that's a winner. That's going to be a winner for Dutchtown.
That's what I just said. It's going to flip the match to Dutchtown.
Yeah, barring a conversion, that's it.
Speed kills. And that was, again, pretty good location, but just a little soft, as we said earlier.
That's what got her back when in the 7th frame as well.
So big turn in matches here late. Yanked that one, but still going to get pins, and that's all that matters. She just needs a conversion. She wins. Even one pin will win here, and now she doesn't even have to do that. So, match 2 going to Dutchtown.
So best case scenario for Dutchtown now is looking like potential for 7-1 possibly, but it could still be 4-4.
That's how close this has been.
That
would beautiful strike.
That's a clincher.
Puts it away. And a good finish here for Dutchtown at 5. Excellent game bowled by All Day Logue. 202. Another strike for Barres. Total pins wise, Barres is keeping Chappelle in this. She'll win her match, but it's all about total pins, keeping her team in touch here. Lee tugged that. Big finish at number 1 for Dutchtown. You're going to get a high 170s game. That's huge at number 1. Talk about pins. As Jill Boatner, the freshman, has come through in a gigantic way. Here is Barres for another. Collapsed the bucket, left the 8.
Yep. So spare would be 256 for Olivia. And a huge win.
Against a top bowler in the state. And Chappelle needed that to stay in this match. Lee, a nice spare. Yep. 175 game for Boatner. Very impressive. Barres converts. 130 game for Chappelle by Schroeder. And Lee to finish up, looking for 183. Through the nose, similar shot, 182. So final score.
Chappelle wins the high side by 40. So they've basically got to stay within 39 to try and claim the 2 points.
But right now they're not doing that on the low pair.
It's 59 at the moment, and Dutchtown's got 2 marks.
Strike up and marks up. So
yeah, so it's going to take some effort here. It's not undoable, but it's going to take some effort.
5-7, bad break. We've seen those a few times early in the game for each team. Nice shot.
Big shot right there. And that's a winner at 2. That will clinch that point.
So Mary Dufresne wins. That's a second point won by Chappelle.
Right. Now the question becomes, can they overcome this margin in total pins?
Still have a large way to go to do that. Again, the total on the high pair was 40
in favor of Chappelle. 566 to 526.
Yep.
So right now, as you look at it,
Chappelle needs a double here.
Yeah, this is a big shot right here.
Meanwhile, 5-7, can Andolfo find a way to convert? Taking a lot of time. A lot of time. Settles for 9 out. And now here's Dufresne. This is an important shot. Good release. Left the 4 of 7. Wow, that was a good shot. Just slightly a tick high. Could have gotten a break, didn't. So now the odds are not with Chappelle at all. They don't have the numbers here.
Yeah,
I
don't know that there's
so this looks like a 6-2 game for Dutchtown. And
although margin's going to be tight.
Small,
that's the thing to remember.
That should be a clincher there for sure. So Dutchtown will win this game by a 6-2 margin. And we'll just wait on the total pins as Acord slaps a double to put this one away. Good spare. 152 game for Dufresne. The real swing match in this one was at number 5, where the 10th frame decided it. And it went Dutchtown's way. As Cheetah all day load came through. Good shot here in a 4-pin. No carry.
Taylor.
Excellent shot. The reason that's important is not pins. It's because you want to get lined up, and Chappelle's going to have to bowl better.
Sure. And this
if
is
they want to win.
This is a situation where the 10th frame, maybe you make a line change, maybe you make a ball change. You try to figure some things out going into game 2. And Dorothy Himbert, again, with a deep roster, she's thinking about what she may do in terms of substitutions here for game 2.
Sure.
All right, so a spare would be 128 for Taylor Bourdonnais. That will be a total for Chappelle of 976. Dutchtown shoots 10-11.
35 pins. Good spare. Jill Bourdonnais at 128. Thus a 6-2 win for Dutchtown. 35 pin difference, correct? So 35 pins and a 6-2 lead.
Is the margin as we get ready for game 2.
So Barris really almost single-handedly keeps her team in this match early on.
Jada all day long and a 202
So we get ready for game 2. Both teams will meet with their respective coaches. Should mention the coaches too. Karen Beam, state championship coach at Dutchtown, family affair at Dutchtown for the Griffins.
Yeah, and her son Ryan bowled for the boys team as well. While we have a moment between games, it's a chance to remind you that today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Greater New Orleans USBC, serving men, women, and youth bowlers in the New Orleans area. This year's city tournament is May 18th and 19th. That's at Bolero Kenner. And they're coming off a very successful inaugural New Orleans Fall Classic that was held back in the fall last year. Looking to do that again. You go to greaterneworleansUSBC.com or check out their Facebook page for the latest information. Our thanks to President Claude Mayer and the entire GNO USBC board for their support of high school bowling. They really value what it is that we do here in helping to promote the sport, as they like to try to help promote and grow it as well.
Thank you, Claude. Thank you, USBC. And thank everyone watching here today. Speaking of coaches, Dorothy Himbert, the head coach of the Chipmunks, a Chappelle graduate, class of 1982, and, of course, a wonderful bowling family that those of us in the New Orleans area have had a chance to get to know over the course of an entire lifetime. And Dorothy, of course, her husband is Bruce Himbert, who coaches the Brother Martin program that's had such great success. So well-coached teams, people that are heavily invested in the game. The family affair, the Beams, the Himberts,
no doubt,
a perfect example of how you invest in a sport.
How much do we see that? I mean, look, it happens in a lot of sports, but it really happens in the sport of bowling, where you get involved at the family level. You bowl maybe because your parents bowled or because your grandparents bowled. Yeah. And that's what gets you involved. A lot of times that's your coach, that's your mentor,
So what we're looking for here is Chappelle's low pit will probably bowl better. You can't expect Barres to bowl that kind of game again. And Chappelle really needs to get their number 4 bowler going here. He struggles to start this game with a bucket. Bottom line is Chappelle's in it, but they have to raise their level if they want to beat a defending state champion that is believing in itself. And it's been there, done that. Nice release, 7th pin. That's an unusual leave. Good shot. And a good spear here for Alex. That might give her some confidence. She needs something good to happen, because nothing good happened in her first game. Lejeune. Spear taken care of here by Lejeune. Hamilton again. The speed is a thing to watch with Hamilton. Nice shot here.
Maintained it there.
And a solid 4-pin on a good shot by Dufresne. Remember, Chappelle missed a ton of spares in the first half of that first game, and it was hard to overcome that. I mention it all the time. Spare shooting. Strikes produce scores, spares produce winners.
Yep. You win at this game at spare shooting. You're not going to carry 100% of the times you hit the pocket.
When we talk about filling the boxes, that means spare strike. Mares wide, perfect shot.
Great shot.
Just, again, the revolution she's getting, and the back end she's getting, she can get it wide, no problem.
And she's generating the right angle to the pocket. That's important.
And she's got enough speed to hold it long enough. You know, case in point, what we talked about with the 5-hole bowler for Chappelle. Hamilton, her speed is important because it flips a little bit too early.
Yeah. Interestingly, I thought we might see a sub or two, but Chappelle is stuck to the lineup for game 2.
A tough lead for Dutchtown on lane 23 and 8-10. That's just a bad break. It means you hit the pocket, you just didn't flush it. And a strike for Chappelle. Bourdonnais off to a good start. And a good start for Chappelle overall. Speaking of filling boxes, filled all the boxes, right? In frame number 1. Here's Lee. Little tug. Broke up the split. No problem. And converting the 8-10 here. 8-pin off the 8-10 to get the 9 count. So we're just about through 1 frame. Lee will look for the conversion of the 4-7. Good spare shooter. No problem. All good.
A reminder, as you see the score down in the bottom right of your screen, Ken, we talked about it at the outset with this format. 27 points available. It takes 14 to win. So, especially as we get late in this second game, get ready to head towards the third game, you kind of look to the path to get to 14. You know, Dutchtown with a 6-2 lead. The other thing to keep in mind, like we mentioned, is, you know, the total pin scenario at this point, where it's plus 35 in the favor of Dutchtown. That's those 3 points that come into play at the end in a tight match could decide it. A lot of times, in fact, almost every time, it rarely doesn't happen this way.
Oh, my.
That's a tough break for Alex Young. That was a solid 7-pin. But rarely, and I emphasize rarely, do you see a team not win total pins and win the match.
Correct.
It does happen, you know, maybe once or twice a year, but it's very, very rare.
It can, but that's the neat part of this format.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to get to 14.
Yeah, remember as we sat there, you and Kent Lowe sat there, and I was sitting there in stunned silence 2 years ago in that Brother Martin Catholic match.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to get to 14, and Brother Martin had a 10-6 lead and had to make that enormous rally in the second half of Game 3. It was, we were going through all the permutations there. How do you get to 14? So Chappelle's left side is off to a much better start here in Game 2 than Game 1.
And for that matter,
so is the right side.
So is Alex Young. She's better than what we saw the first game.
There's no doubt. Yeah.
And Chappelle continues to roll on the low side. 6 frames, 6 marks, including a double just delivered by Taylor Bourdonnais. And you can hear the reaction of the Chipmunks.
And you already see a couple of opens on the left pair for Dutchtown, where Chappelle is getting a bit of a lead. They've got strikes at 5 and 6 and a chance to maybe get the lead here in those. And now you got a washout to look at, the 1-2-8-10.
That's a really good spear. That's a tough cover.
That is.
Well done for Dutchtown by Ginny Andolfo. Good release here. That's in the oil.
That's right there.
And there's that 1-3 open rack.
Yep.
Definitely got her.
Lane 10. So that's two back-to-back good shots there by Chappelle in lane 25 and no carry.
Good release here. Good shot and another 10-pin.
So, we're starting to get to the point here where you got to think about lane transition. What is going to happen now is the oil is moving. The oil is drying up a bit. How do you compensate for that, whether you're moving your feet, whether you're moving your line, whether you're making a ball change. Those kind of things are going to start happening.
Hamilton trying to get her footing straight here. She put the ball down as she was thinking about shooting the 10-pin. And if you have any self-doubt, you need to step off.
No doubt.
Speaking of 10-pin conversions, there you have one. Beautifully done for Dutchtown. In the 3 spot, that's well done by Acord.
And that's I'd call it a mature move right there by Elizabeth Hamilton. A lot of people might say, okay, let me just go up here and we shoot this and hope everything's okay. No, you take your time, go make sure you feel okay about it, and then go up and try it.
And notice the angle. She's all the way to the left side of the lane. She's going to use the middle arrow to go cross lane, and that's a perfect angle.
Flattened it out, well done.
That's a perfect angle. Across lane, using the whole lane, oils toward the center of the lane, and you've got the friction going the other way, left to right anyway. Angled it perfectly. Good cover. That's a shaker split. That's tough. Bell's had a few of those. What I mean by shakers, a right pocket hit with not a lot of roll on the back end. Ball deflects, and therefore you see the result. The 4-5-7, which is a very, very difficult spear to convert. Barres again. No transition concerns for her.
No. Well, again, she is playing in a different part of the lane than everyone else because of the revolution she generates with the two-handed game.
First open frame for Chappelle comes in the 3rd. Shorter with a split.
Yeah, Alex!
High on the head pin. Young, spear conversion coming. Dutchtown in the 4 spot. Here's Lejeune trying to take the lead now in the match very early on. Going to get there. Beautiful shot. And a nice conversion. And a strike, a double for Chappelle in the 2 spot.
You hear the fans starting to get into it now.
That's Mary Dufresne.
It's a tight match. And look, a lot of people don't think bowling's a loud sport. You and I have been around it. They start stringing strikes, right?
Yep, and Dolphin strikes with an answer for Dutchtown at the 2 spot. Good release here. Good result. That's as pure as you can get. Another strike. Strikes a bow. That's a triple to start the game for Taylor Bourdain. What a difference on the low pair for Chappelle early this game as compared to game 1.
Yeah, they've thrown 6 strikes already in this game. I'm not sure they had 6 strikes in the first game.
Hamilton smashes one. Now Lee for Dutchtown. Just marked the first 2 frames.
Let's go!
Good release here. No problem. Whenever she's not started it early, she's been in the 1-2 pocket on a consistent basis and shows you her ability there. And that slightly offset rack benefited there by the lighter hit from the left side.
Yeah.
Because the 1 pin is slightly
got a hold.
pushed that way.
It does.
Not only did it hold, it's flush for Barra as he continues to bowl an amazing set here.
And one thing about that too, there is perhaps more so here than what a lot of these bowlers see in house shots at anywhere else that they go. There's a good conversion over there.
Yeah, it is. That's what they didn't do in the first game.
Exactly.
Convert those spares.
Exactly. But with the oil volume a little bit heavier in the middle of the lane, you've got a chance for those shots to be able to hold.
Pull that shot, but clean. A 5-pin left for Young. Thus far has filled 3 boxes, trying to make it 4.
This is a big 4th frame here on the right pair for Dutchtown.
With a 9 count on her double. Spear shot though in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, they've got 3 strikes up here.
Yes,
they got a chance
big
to string some doubles.
Here's one. Oh my. Huge break. Huge. Sometimes you get the breaks and sometimes you don't.
Nope, that's exactly it.
That was a big miss and it turned out to be a big hit. It's part of the game. Dufresne converts. So Dutchtown with one double already takes the lead by 13 at number 4. And you really don't get a feel until the 5th frame on. Things change so quickly early in terms of matches. Wide. And it still got there, light 7th.
Yeah, but you remember how quickly Dutchtown started, or maybe more accurately, how slowly Chappelle started.
And a 4-bagger to start the game for Taylor Bourdonnais.
Now, Bourdonnais struggled game 1, but let me take you back to last week in the quarterfinals. She didn't start. She came in game 2 and shot 247, 247.
And here's a double as well for Liz Hamilton.
But here's the other part of that. When Dorothy Himbert subbed out most of her right side, Bourdonnais switched pairs from the left pair to the right pair. That's hard to do. So you're shooting 247, then changing lanes, not even getting, now you're bowling on a different pair of lanes, no practice, and going and shooting 247 again.
Nothing easy about that. Here's Barres. Got that one in the oil. You're not going to get there. You can see right away she got it.
It went long. It went long. Yep.
Never got out of the oil. So she's deep on the lane, and if she doesn't get that ball second arrow and out, it's going to hold. And that ball was in from the start, never really turned over. But still gets an easy spare to shoot at. Lee, meanwhile, splits. And a good spare for Dutchtown. At number 2, well done by Andolfo. Barres for the spare and got it. Even without a double, could pick up pins here unless Lee can come up with a big conversion, which doesn't happen. As we move on toward the 5th frame of this second game, Dutchtown up 6-2. Beautiful strike at number 3 or Dutchtown by Addison Acorn.
But this gives you an idea right here. Chappelle through 4 frames is up 59 on the left pair and up 36 on the right pair. So that's almost 100 pins in total. And we figure at this point, they're up in 5 of 6 matches as well. So we'll give you the whole rundown as we reach the midway point. But they are off to a great start.
There's a great release and a great result. Dutchtown rolling at number 3. Beautifully done. And with the edge there, that's Lejeune with the triple and an answer by Hamilton.
I'm not sure if that's Young's first strike of the day or not, but it's been a tough go, and she needed that one in a big way.
Well, she filled some boxes with spares, and she's found herself in the process.
Right. Sometimes that's what it takes.
Good shot here. Slap it out. Well done by All Day Loeb, who's bowled very well today.
So Hamilton's got a chance to really stretch this lead right now. Could make it 47 pins with a strike here.
No way.
There's that.
Broke it up, though.
The speed, again, like you and I have talked about. You caught it right away. That's 3. I think that's 3 shots here over about the last game where the speed was a little soft and the shot just didn't hold.
Yeah, ball's turning over about 40 feet down, and ideally you want it to be more like 45 to 48 before you see the turnover. So you got 2 things to do there. You either try to adjust your speed, which is not easy, or you move a board or 2 to your left to suspend that back end roll.
I think the other thing, too, it's just a matter of maintaining. I think it is just a little soft. You want to maintain the shot. This has got to hold on here.
She's not going to make it. So that opens up things in that match.
First open frame on the right side for Chappelle.
Yeah, they've had all boxes filled, and that's when the big difference in this game, why they're bowling better, is making spares. They go along with the strikes, but there's a miss. And Lee takes care of her spare. Now you get to Barres. Spare taken care of. For Chappelle at number 1 with Schroeder. Barres. Ooh, she can't get the 8-pin out. Unable to get the 8-pin out. There's another good shot. As that time, unlike the previous shot, she trusted it. Gave it room. It climbed back late, but it still got there. And left a light 8-pin. Could have carried. But again, a very makeable spare as we get to the halfway mark of game number 2. Barres converts. Meanwhile, a tough break for Dufresne, who hits the pocket, leaves an 8-10. And that's a head shaker. That one's tough to take when you make a pretty good shot and you end up with an unmakeable spare.
And then that happens. Then you look over on the other lane and your opponent crosses over and strikes.
Yeah, so some breaks for Dutch down here, changing things a bit in this game.
Alex Young caught a break there, had the 6-7-10, standing in the 7-pin, fell very late.
Mm-hmm. If you do, friend, you can't get frustrated by that. Just make the same shots. 4-9. Speed again was an issue. And that's too far inside. And a missed spare. So starting to miss spares now. And that's what Chappelle can't afford if they want to win this game. Beautiful shot. And that is 5 in a row for Taylor Mordenay of Archbishop Chappelle.
Just a freshman. And look, that's... How do you succeed at this sport? Well, there's a lot of ways, okay? But one of the things is you've got to work at your game and improve, okay? There's only, it's a team sport, but it's an individual game.
All right, so Hamilton moved in slightly, and you see the result. Ball goes further down the lane, and then it turns over. And a missed spare for Chappelle at number 1. But again, moving in a bit, the ball doesn't flip until about 4 or 5 feet later, and that makes all the difference.
Right. The two freshmen on this, or two of the freshmen on the Chappelle roster, Bourdonnais and Addison Bell, were like barely 100 average bowlers last season. Now they're in the 160s. Why? Because they worked hard at their game in the offseason. Made themselves better.
Now Barres, after leaving the 8-pin, that ball's in. She's turning her head.
And almost got away with it.
Didn't carry it, even though it was in the 1-3. But again, that just tells you what kind of line she has, what room she has. She knew she didn't make a good shot. She easily could have struck on that ball.
Yeah, she has created some area there in an area of the lane that no one else is playing.
Still has to convert the spare cross lane.
And again, these can be a little bit tricky. We talked about the oil volume.
There's a tough break on the 5-bagger. Bourdonnais makes a good shot, leaves a 10-pin. Not much of an adjustment to make when you leave the 10. Barres, meanwhile, misses the spare and opens up the match.
The point I was just getting into is there's that volume of oil that's in the middle of the lane that you've got to contend with to shoot those cross-lane spares.
Yeah, gave it way too much room. And now Lee sees an opportunity to get right back in that match. Set it down early and smashed it. So now that's a match. She's within 19, but she's on a strike, and she's got huge strike capability. That's why the first 5 frames are establishing frames, but the last 5 frames determine every game. Sometimes the 10th frame does, as we saw last game with one match that kind of flipped things in Dutchtown's favor. Dutchtown up 6-2 with a 35-pin lead after one game state championship match. LHSAA girls here in Gonzales at Premier Lanes.
Yeah.
Nice shot, couldn't get a love tap. Trailing by 19, leaves the 10-pin.
You got it, Alex.
Lejeune with that 19-pin lead is bowled very well. So we look at the matches. We'll give you a rundown here momentarily. First for the spare. Will it stay? Yes. So got good spare.
Good job, Alex.
Alex Young. Good stroke here, but a little bit inside of target. All day long. Now Hamilton will try to go up against that. Still a little bit out on that lane. And wraps the 10-pin. Good shot.
It was a good shot.
So it looks to me like she's a little bit different lined up. She's lined up further in on the left lane than the right. But again, both shots were good. Just got the result on one, did not get the result on the other. Good release here. Good spare.
Tough to cover that double wood sometimes, but it's
just well done by All Day Logue. Nice 10-pin cover for Dutchtown as well. Speaking of 10 pins, here's Hamilton trying to convert. That's going to be in the ditch. So, again, that changes things here.
Yeah, that's getting a little tighter now.
Yep.
Those couple,
11-pin match.
three missed spares here on the right side in the last 2 frames. It's tightening up those matches.
Touchdown making spares, which was the case in game 1. Chappelle started this game that way, but starting to slip up a bit. Tried to go right down the boards and splits.
I think she might have came across her body a little bit there and maybe missed her target left.
Now Barres coming off the open frame, trying to bounce back. Got it wide early. Turned it over. Good shot, but a 4-pin.
Yeah, all of the carrying she was doing in the first game plus 3 frames here. Now, some reason, I don't know, do the bowling gods even things out? I'm not sure what it is, but it's just, yeah, things do have a tendency to, you know,
she hopefully learned something from the last spare shot. Same thing, cross lane at the 4 after missing the 7-pin cross lane last frame. That one, again, is wide. She did the same thing, and now she's basically let Lee right there, who has a chance to catch her right now.
Yeah, Lee's got a chance to take the lead.
Total change in that match, and you just can't miss 1-pin spares. Now Lee with a chance to take the lead. Good release. Perfect shot. She's got the lead. And look at her getting excited.
Here's the thing in match play. You give a good bowler a chance, and they're going to capitalize on the opportunity.
There's no question about it. Chappelle's up at 1. Chappelle's up at 2 and up at 3. At 4, it's Dutchtown. At 5, it's Chappelle. And at 6, it's Dutchtown. So it's 4-2 Chappelle right now. But a couple of matches clearly in play.
But total pins well in favor of Chappelle at this point.
But still, 3 frames to go.
A long way to go.
2-frame release. And got it. Alex Young release. That's trying to get there. Yep. Got 8 out of it. Strike for Dutchtown. And number 3.
Bourdonnais gets out of trouble there on that high shot. Nearly had a big split, but only the 4-pin is left standing.
Lejeune trying to convert the 310 here. Gave it room. Too much room. Now Hamilton trying to take advantage. Good release. Good shot. So now that tightens up. So you got as many as 3 or 4 matches in play here.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Is certainly on the right side. What we're looking at on the left side right now is Chappelle in command for the most part, although there's still 3 frames to go. But you got a 7-pin match at number 4, 25 at number 5, but with 2 opens by Hamilton the last 3 frames, and a 2-pin lead for Dutchtown at 6.
She's got the right angle on the left lane. She's flushing the pocket now. Right lane, she's playing a little further out. Let's watch that again next frame. Talking about Hamilton. It's not unusual for bowlers to bowl 2 different lines on 2 different lanes, but they feel comfortable in that capacity. There's a really nice shot.
Good shot there by All Day Low.
All Day Low coming back after she struggled for a few frames. Good to see. Now you get to the anchor bowls. Barres is hitting the pocket, but she's missed 2 easy spares in succession that put her behind in her match against Lee. Strike called for Dutchtown at number 1 by Bodner. Barres gives it too much room, way too much room. Starts to get into your head when you have an open frame or 2, and here comes Dorothy Himbert, like she wants to have a word with her. She had a long conversation with her after the last missed spare.
Though she may have to do some coaching on the right-hand side here with the match is seemingly in good shape on the left side right now.
Correct. Expected Chappelle's low pit to have the advantage. That's what we're seeing in game 2. We did not see that in game 1. Hush over the crowd is beautiful delivery here, but not a good result. Barres trying to convert a 3-pin spare and missed again completely. Can't hit the head pin. So things have gone completely south for Barres after being dominant for a while.
And again, one of those things is what it is that she's doing.
She wants to switch balls.
Make a ball change, perhaps. Is she pushing the oil down like that? Second shot didn't
do anything.
Didn't do a thing.
No. Good 10-pin conversion for Chappelle at number 2 by Dufresne. Lee will get up on the right lane with a chance to take total control of her match. She steps off waiting for her teammate.
Yeah.
And because without getting into a lot of commentary, you have one or two bowlers. One ball takes a lot of time. There is no clock, by the way, in bowling.
And I would tell you this, too.
Just to let people know.
If she can use the opportunity here, they're ahead, okay, on the right side. Kind of evening out things now. If a shot needs to be made in a close match, do you want Sydney Lee making that shot?
Without a doubt. On a strike here, and, oh my, stone 10-pin. Terrific shot, bad break for Acord. Spear up by Bourdonnais, continues to bowl a superb game. Barra's the story in game 1. Bourdonnais the story in game 2 for Chappelle. And now Lee with a chance to really open things up in her match. Sent it wide. Beautiful roll. Smash. No doubt. Sydney Lee bowling like her average suggests, the best bowler in the state. And she's taking control of her match by 25 pins. So Dutchtown in solid shape at number 6 to win a match. And there's a nice strike by Bowden.
That's a big double right there. That tightens that match up.
Does that change that match? It's a 4-pin match now, and she's on a double, which puts a lot of pressure on Chappelle at number 1 and Schroeder. Tight match at number 4, and it's a big shot here. That's right in there. Oh, my. Speed did not hold. Now Hamilton. Sent it wide, gets it back.
Good shot.
And a 10-pin left for Chappelle at number 1, and that's a tough lead.
And assuming this isn't converted here, Young's got a chance to get
this has a
back
chance.
In this match.
This has
is a good
chance.
Shot.
Ooh.
Oh, 3-pin slid in front of the 4.
So that changes the match at number 4.
Young is just taking the lead by 8, I believe.
This is the lane where she sends it wide, and she does here, and it's too wide. So Hamilton really sent that one.
I think we're starting to see some of that transition here, and now it's going to be which team handles it the best.
Nice spare. That's an important spare for Chappelle by Schroeder to maintain the lead at 13, with their opponent having a double up. That's wide.
Seeing more and more of that. The shots hitting light in the pocket, leaving the pocket splits like the 210, the 2410, 2810, missing the head pin. So things are happening out there.
Ball's going longer.
Who's going to adjust?
Good release, nice spare. Played the angle perfectly. Got a big spare and is controlling her match is Hamilton. See if Barres can rediscover the line. She's changing balls, I do believe. I know people are going to say, boy, she bowled that big game. Why would you change balls? Well, no, she didn't change balls. She stayed with the same ball, and she made a perfect shot. Gets her teammates excited in the process. For the spare, Bourdonnais got it. Lee, yes, got a 4-bagger. Well, Lee is doing what Barres did last game, keeping her team in touch.
Yes.
But strikes is so important in the grand scheme with total pins on the line here. Here's Bourdonnais. My bad. And she blew her out. Man, she bowled well.
She's got a 52-pin
Here's a big
lead.
shot for Hamilton. Oh, a 5 count at that.
Oh, wow.
Very difficult spare with a match on the line.
Yeah, if she makes this spare, she's forcing
Here's
Lejeune
a
to
big
double.
shot for Lejeune, and it's a good shot. And it's there.
Right.
And now Lejeune will win if there's no conversion here, which is a very difficult spare.
Right. And if she does convert, she can strike and win.
And that's going to be wide, I think.
Got a chance,
no chance. So one frame changes everything. And Dutchtown is going to win at number 4. That's a big swing again in the final frame. It happened to Chappelle in the previous game. It's happened again here. That's a big point won by Dutchtown. The match they were trailing in the 10th frame. There's a triple. Look at this. Talk about changing the match. Boner triples. Now Chappelle has to mark here. 8 count. So look at this match at number 1. Got a spare if you're Chappelle. And if you strike, and if you're Boatner and you strike, you win. So here we go. Here's Boatner trying to win him another point for Dutchtown. Sends it wide.
That's not coming back, I don't think. Wow.
7 count, but Chappelle must spare. Here we go. Schroeder needing a spare. And then a count to win. Not going to get there, and that's another point for Dutchtown. 2 misses in the 10th frame for Chappelle cost them 2 matches here in game 2, which changes everything. And now a chopped spare here.
That's still a win. You
Doesn't
lose
matter.
total. You're losing some total there.
Chappelle losing a ton here in the 10th frame of game 2. Again, all it takes is 1 frame. And you're seeing
you got
complete
3
and total change here.
You've got 3 opens and 3 bowlers thus far. Meanwhile, you got 2 doubles at this point. So basically, Dutchtown has made up 50 pins here in the 10th frame already.
Unreal. Total change. Here's a ball switch and a good result. That's when you do it in the 10th frame. Dutchtown finishing here, outstanding fashion. Chappelle really struggling, and Barris could surely need a strike here to try to stop this downward spiral for the Chipmunks here in game 2. Got it in the oil.
That's jumping.
And got a break. Cut it a little short and got it in the oil and got a break. There for 2 frames.
So this is looking like 8-8 going to the 3rd
Got
game.
a chance to be 8. I was just about to say the same thing.
The question is, what is total
What's
pins
total
going?
pins? And this is why this is another big shot, because she's on a strike and 9 count. Barres now could strike here to bowl 200 despite having 3 consecutive open frames. Beautiful shot there. 203 game.
Right, that's huge.
The new frame. Barres wide. She's kind of lost her line, hasn't she, Lenny?
Yeah, and again, we're seeing changing in the lanes, and how is it that you handle it?
147. All day long. Good spare. Again, pins matter. Switch balls here to see what kind of reaction she gets.
Yeah, it's something good to do on a fill ball right there, certainly.
189 for Barron.
Makes perfect sense. Use it as a shot to line up.
Lead. Ball into town and really making up pins. Touchdown with a very, very strong 10th frame has really closed things dramatically here. And I'm talking about pins, of course.
Yeah.
Which means everything right now in what is turning out to be a close match, which will be decided in one game.
Yep. The question now is, what will the total pin margin be going into game 3?
Chappelle wins 3 matches. good shot nonetheless. Dutchtown wins at 1. Dutchtown wins at 4. Dutchtown wins at 6. So the best this can be for Chappelle is a 5-3 game. Which means Dutchtown would still have the lead in this match. 9-7 if Chappelle wins total here. Good conversion by Lee. 2:26 game. That's what you expect from her. She's dynamite. Really well done.
Right. So Dutchtown wins the high side by 33 pins, but the edge is going to be big for Chappelle on the low side, where they are going to win by over 100. So they are going to take over the lead in total pins, even though they're going to trail in the match 9-7.
And we'll give you those figures here coming up. Waiting for Acord to finish up here. All about the low pit for Chappelle here. 200 games for the Chipmunks, and a low pit really propels them to win in this game. Solid 10-pin. Nice game by Acord, 173. So that is a 108-pin advantage on the left pair. And on the right pair, it was 33.
So Chappelle wins the game by 75, which means they lead
up
total by 40 pins.
Yeah.
Yep. Even though they trail in the match 9-7, Chappelle has a 40-pin edge in total.
So 9-7 Dutchtown after 2 games, and Chappelle is up 40 pins total. Remember, you get 3 points for winning the total. Quite a game. So a really good game, really good result. Teams will gather around their coaches, Lenny, as we get set for the third and deciding game.
So you look at it, it's like it is, if they can split the 8 points here and Chappelle holds on to the lead in total pins, they can win the match that way.
So we'll see what kind of changes are made in Game 3 in terms of angles, balls, all of these things.
And what is interesting, you look at Chappelle, okay? And this is, we talked about their depth, right? Their left side shot 578. Their right side shot 526.
And also for Dutchtown, we had Sydney Lee with the 226 game.
And that's kind of what you noticed as much as anything. 2 things. The Chappelle low pit establishing dominance, which we kind of expected would happen from the start, and Sydney Lee establishing dominance, which we kind of expected from the start.
Right.
And now, keep in mind, Barra is just absolutely was a house of fire, both an incredible first game and started the second game the same way.
Yeah.
Then what happened to her was not so much the lanes changing. She had a couple of pocket hits, left a 7-pin and a 4-pin, but she missed them both. And that kind of changed everything. And all that happens there is it creates a little doubt in your mind.
No doubt.
Plants that seed. And what happens then, all of a sudden you start making shots that aren't as accurate or a little bit errant. And
Open
the
up,
rest
and
is
you,
history.
and you give your opponent an open door.
Correct.
And your opponent happens to be the highest average bowler in the state, the second highest average in the history of the state, who then capitalized with 5 consecutive strikes to not only win the game, but to certainly tighten up total pins here.
And you cannot expect any changes in personnel here going into the third game, I would think.
You wouldn't think, certainly. Let's see. I don't think it's out of the question here. Let's see. I think we may see Mia Bella Harvey instead of Cassidy Schroeder in the 1 spot here. Let's see if that's the case. So these 2 teams have worked all year to go a combined 29-0, really dominating their opponents. It's basically now 1 game for your season.
That's it.
What it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, this is all you can ask for on either side. Yeah. Either side knows, look, if we perform this game, we win a state championship.
Yep.
I mean, that's basically where you're at. Now, total pins matter. There are 3 points involved here. So you start thinking about how can I get there? Yeah. The obvious for Dutchtown is let's win 5 matches. For Chappelle, the obvious is let's win at least 3, preferably 4, and win total pins in game 3.
If you win 4 of 6, even if you were to lose total pins, it's possible you wouldn't lose by more than 40. And you just maintain contact, and
that gets you to 14.
That's it. That there are, like we talked about,
there are a
lot of ways to get to 14. Chappelle's got to figure out a way with a lead in total to get 4 points here and hold on to total and get to 7. If you're Dutchtown, you got to figure out a way to either get 5 points here and not overtake total, or or you if you overtake total, chances are, well, first of all, you're winning the game, okay? So it doesn't matter. If you overtake total, you win the match because you're going to get 2 for the game and 3 for the total.
Correct.
So then it doesn't matter how many you win.
I know for the novice it might confuse you a little bit, but it's really a great format because it gives you so many paths to be able to get to a winning total. And I love the aspect of match play because I bowled in this league many, many years ago, and it was just all about total pins. But again, the format, we're going to the 3rd game, 6 players, of course, top average against the top average, and so on down the line with 6 different bowlers. You need to get to 14 to win. Each match provides a point. The total pins for a game provides 2 points, and the super total, which is total pins combined for all 3 games, gives you 3 points. And that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, and there's 11 points remaining at play right now. The 8 in this 3rd game, the 6 individual, the 2 team, and then the 3 points for super total.
And what is a 9-7 match right now in favor of the defending state champion Dutchtown Griffins over the Archbishop Chappelle Chipmunks. As we get set for game number 3 to decide everything, you know that pressure is sometimes self-imposed, and we'll see who handles that best here. We saw a couple of matches flip right at the end of the last game. 2 matches that got away from Chappelle, but you can also say the 2 matches that Dutchtown seized and came through in the clutch. Who performs best in the clutch make a huge difference.
Who's going to make the shots when it matters? It may take someone making a shot in the 10th frame to win this match.
Well, here's Young to start things, and she's been under average in 2 games at 121 and 166. Chappelle needs her to perform now. Lets it go, and in the oil, and didn't move.
So it's Mary Dufresne moving to the 1 spot, Mia Bella Harvey at 2.
All right, so let's make that change.
And Taylor Bourdonnais at 3.
So Dufresne at 1. Mia Bella's at 2, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
And Taylor Bourdonnais at 3. That is the only change.
Got it. So Chappelle did make a change. And there's a strike immediately for Dutchtown. By Lejeune, slaps off the 10. That's not going to get there, so a miss right away. The ultimate team game, you need every bowler to contribute if you want to win a state championship here.
You never know where it's
Doesn't matter what happened the first 2 games. If you bowl great, you need to keep it up. If you struggled, you need to bowl better. That's basically where we're at. The ball switch we saw late, and it's going to be a better reaction here. Just didn't get the carry. They did all day load. Double wood spear, can't make that. Mia Bella Harvey for Chappelle. Strikes.
That's a great start.
So does Hamilton. Well, they make a switch and they get a strike right away.
There you go.
Now think about that. State championship comes down to 1 game.
You make a lineup change.
And you make a lineup change, and your first shot off the bench with everything on the line, you flush it and strike. Hello. Speaking of flush 7-pin. Meanwhile, Barrow strikes. Couldn't make a better shot than Bourdonnais just made, and she flushed the 7-pin. That's not flush. Stone. Just call it anything you want. And Lee, great shot. I don't see her missing the pocket much the rest of the way.
No, not at all. Not at all. She has been terrific since about the 6th frame of game 2.
And a Brooklyn strike for Dutchtown. We've seen a few of those. Dolfo has that. And a missed spare here. And again, spares will win the match for either side. Believe me when I say that. It couldn't be more clear in a close match like this. 5-pin for Hamilton.
All right, Alex.
On a strike. Good release. Little soft. And carries.
Got a break.
Breaks for Dutchtown early in game 2. Remember that. A Brooklyn and a cave-in strike, and the cave-in results in a double.
You never know what it takes, right?
Good spare there. Well, the oldest axiom in sports. You want to be good and you want to be lucky. And if you happen to be both, you're going to be great. And you won't be late. Enough of that. Nice shot. So I'm telling you, she's got a much better look with this ball. Ever since she made the switch, All Day Logue is lined up pretty well. 5 count. Very, very difficult spares to make. Tough spares for Chappelle on both 24 and 26. Here's Lee for a double. Set it down early. Got away with it. A little bit of a tug. That's a great sign for her to get away with it. She laughs a little bit. They know.
Hey, dude, that happens.
Not going to cover it.
Wow, that's a tough break right there. You don't see that happen very often.
And another strike for Dutchtown. Dutchtown off to a great start. That's a double on the low pair. And another missed spare for Chappelle. So this one's looking a lot like the first game early on. The way the first game went early is kind of the way this one's going at the moment. As Dutchtown is establishing a definitive edge early, and I stress early in this one. Here's Barres swinging it. Not
Too
going to
wide.
get back. And another strike for Dutchtown. Griffin's on a roll here. Trying to repeat as state champions. Chipmunks struggling. Barres switching balls and misses everything. That's 4 pins you lose there.
Yep.
And again, in a close game, you cannot have that.
Right. You can make it. You can make it. That's great. But
You got to get
the pin cut.
And there's a missed spare by a bunch. So Spell really struggling in this game. Chance for the Griffins to establish a big early edge, very similar to game 1.
Yep. And the opposite of what we saw in game 2, what Chappelle established early.
A good shot here, but no carry for Bourdonnais.
That's Dufresne.
Dufresne, rather. I'm sorry. Bourdonnais now up on the right lane. And another tough spare. A lot of bucket-type shots.
Yeah. Already what? I think is it 6 opens already for Chappelle?
And now a triple for Dutchtown by Acorn, and they're jumping all over Chappelle here. I mean, establishing a big edge early in this game.
Yep.
Not an edge, a big edge.
Yep.
And another missed spare for Chappelle.
That's 7 now.
They are in. Chappelle's in deep trouble here, and Dutchtown is looking very good. And there's something to be said about being the reigning champion, being undefeated, knowing you can win and have won, and performing when it matters most. That's a good release. That's a good shot. A double. All Day Logue. And a split for Chappelle. Dutchtown all over Chappelle.
No doubt. Uncle Mo started to flip maybe in the 10th frame.
Oh, I think everything changed in the 10th frame.
And it's just carried over here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Look at this. And another strike. Boatner strike. Dutchtown going to town. No pun intended. And again, another bucket-type shot. Not quite getting to the 1-3. And another pin missed on a spare for Chappelle. Lee Stone's a 7th pin. She's not going to miss the pocket, though. Again, Chappelle just not only missing spares, but throwing pins away on pin call.
Yeah, you're getting some bad counts out there, no doubt about it.
Well, when you have splits and washouts, you have to get the maximum number of pins you can get.
Especially when you're on a strike.
For the spare, giving it enough room. Not getting a bear, Hamilton. Chappelle needs to just kind of take a deep breath and settle down here and settle in to give itself a chance. Lee, meanwhile, solid conversion. Solid bowler, solid game. All phases. And Dolfo. Wow. Triple.
122 average in the regular season, and she starts with 3 in a row in the biggest game of the season.
And a split for Bourdonnais, and Chappelle in deep trouble here. Now a 5 count as well. I mean, this one could get away very early looking at the numbers of this game. I mean, that's how dramatic the edge is for Dutchtown already. They're pushing a 100-pin lead through almost 3 frames. That is a substantial margin and separation for that early in the game. And again, it's just so hard to cover 5 pins.
Yeah.
And you're looking at Chappelle right now, and 4 open frames on the high pair.
6 on the low pair.
6 on the low pair. And only 3 frames. That's 10 open frames out of 19.
Dutchtown's only hit 2. You just do the math on that. That's 80 pins right there.
That's right. And that doesn't even count the doubles involved. Hamilton wide. And another spare for Dutchtown. Spare it up. Nicely done. And number 3, Addison Acord. Griffin's looking good. Little soft. Good A count. And a made spare. Speldish needs something good to happen.
Yeah, you gotta stop the bleeding before you can start to make the comeback.
Good shot. Well done by Lejeune. And another missed spare for Chappelle. An easy 1-pin spare. Just, again, it's not getting much better for the Chipmunks as we get deeper into game 3 with the state championship on the line. Beautiful shot.
And the 8 kid didn't want to fall there for a minute for Hamilton.
Asking for support from their fans. Hamilton and Barras. On a double, a good 9 count. And a strike here for Chappelle by Miabella Harvey. Barras through the nose, leaves a 10. Spare it up, no problem. Mares able to convert the 10.
Yep.
So Chappelle fills 3 boxes here on the right side, which they must do at the very least. Lee, Shaker, 6-pin. But again, she's in the 1-2 consistently, and another missed spare for Chappelle. Just cannot survive with all the missed spares they've had.
Like I said back in the first game, every other coach in every other sport would have called the timeout for now. Doesn't happen in this sport.
Nope. Lee for the conversion, no problem.
And you got to. Just got to maintain confidence. You can make good shots. Trust your game.
We'll set the stage here after this frame, which is the 5th, which is beginning.
Young catches a break there, crossing over, and
you need a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to get back in this right now,
yeah, because right now
they're
take
a lot of those
on the outside, looking in by a wide margin. If you look at the total pins, I mean, right now, 150 pins or so. That's how much Dutchtown's leading, and not even through half a game.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of pins to make.
And you gotta get it back one frame at a time. You're not gonna make it all up.
Nope. And again, there's that 1-3 pocket hit with that open rack on the left lane, which is it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Then a good spear here. Just impressed with Dutchtown's spear making, impressed with their execution.
They keep filling boxes. They do not have an open frame on the right side.
Wide shot. Today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. Must be a reason. Spares are important, but the margin is so large right now.
You got to start
striking.
Yeah, you've got to start stringing some strikes. No question.
That's a great shot by Jen All-Day-Load.
And you probably need some help along the way.
Barres, good-looking shot here. And there's that 10-pin.
That's 6-pin. Wanted to slap out the 10, and it just laid in the gutter.
Again, that open rack on that side for right-handers. If you're going to be half pocket, you're going to have trouble carrying. Lee, bang. I said she wasn't going to miss the pocket. She has not. This game, matter of carrying. She's carried 3 out of 5. Tough spear on 24. And what a beautiful spear. Again, that's Andolfo, and that's the story of this game. Touchdown, simply filling boxes on a consistent basis. Mares makes a 10-pin. Right now, Chappelle just trying to stay afloat. As we reach the halfway mark of Game 3, I should say, Dutchtown in a dominant position. Leading by 89 pins on the high pair and leading by 70 or so on the low pair. Young is wide.
When Chappelle does hit the pocket, they're hitting light and they're not getting any opportunity to really catch.
Well, they don't have any doubles either. So, I mean, again, you're not only not spearing, you don't see any doubles on the board.
And that's a way every double will close 10 pins in the gap.
5 frames, no doubles, and a whole bunch of missed spares. That's a really bad combination. That's
Good pick up there on a tough shot.
Half a game to go. It's not over. But Chappelle has to do an enormous job the rest of the way.
Was it Yogi Berra that said it's getting late early?
It's getting late early.
Yeah. If not, I'm sure he took credit for it.
He might have.
Well, he would have told you that 90% of this game is half mental, and that's certainly the case.
I saw the movie. It was great. Good shot. Documentary on Yogi's life was really good. And a 5-7.
Oh, wow.
So again, that's just kind of how it's going.
Yep.
For Chappelle, not much good happening. Schroeder with a 5-7. At least trying to lead that match, which he is, but an open frame could change that. And there's another shot right in the track. Beautiful right there. Beautiful shot. And she's lined up. That ball switch made a big difference for All-Day-Load.
You got everybody on this right side for Dutchtown working on 2-0 or 2-team right now. And
Barra splits and a split miss on 24. So to say it's getting late for Chappelle would be very accurate at this stage. This margin is huge. And it's not really being reduced much, if at all. Lee, oh my goodness.
Wow, great shot.
As good a shot as she's made all day, and a terrible result.
We're hitting the halfway point here, Ken, and this is normally the point we give you an update. It's pretty easy. Chappelle's got the lead in 1 match. Dutchtown has the lead in 5.
And Dutchtown has a huge lead, massive lead in
total pins through 6 frames on the right lane. They are up by, let's see, 92, and they've got 4 marks in hand.
Right.
So they've got really 112 pin lead. And on the
up by 65.
It is 65. Yeah, exactly. 65 on that side. So it's 177 right now. Dutchtown came in trailing by 45.
Right. Yeah,
that was the one advantage Chappelle had, was the 45 pin lead going in. That was gone quickly in this game 3.
They've been up 150 to 170 pretty much the last 3 frames, and it hasn't changed. And that's what's going to kill Chappelle. They're running out of frames here. You're just not going to make up that many pins.
Right.
In such little time. Another open frame for Chappelle.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. If you see the scoreboard, it's 9-7 Dutchtown. So not only does Chappelle have to maintain the lead in the super total, but they got to find a way to win 4 points out of this. And
I don't see any path.
Well, you're down by
all day long.
30. Yeah.
4 pin.
Pretty much 30 or more in every match. You're leading at 1 and down 30 or more in every other match. So you'd have to find a way to get 4 points and maintain super total.
Hamilton.
There you go. There's the double.
The double.
Yeah, finally.
Hit herself right back into that match. She's still got a shot at 5. But All Day Long's bowling really well. But she just missed the spear. So now that match has pretty much become less than a 10-pin match in favor of All Day Long, who had a commanding lead. So, again, not totally out of the question, but unlikely is the right word. Look at that. Excellent spare for Bodner. Varez keeps in the oil here. And a good shot, and she still can't get the carry. That's a good shot.
Yep. That's
what you want, except for the result. And a carry for Chappelle by Dufresne. I said Dufresne, that's... Yeah, that's Dufresne, that's right. Yeah. Lee leaves a 5-pin. Now remember, Barras missed a 7 and missed a 4 last game, which kind of changed things, changed the momentum of the game. They were in total command at that time with Chappelle. And she had been bowling great, and things changed after that for her, and they changed for the team. See how she handles this one. She switched balls to shoot it and missed it again. So she has not made a spare on the left side.
It's one of those things that you've got. It's all about how you go about shooting spares like that. You shoot them with your strike ball, or you shoot them with your spare ball. Do you go directly at them? Do you try to hook it at them? And it's, when you've been
I think you
bowling on conditions that are
you got to throw the ball at the pin. I mean,
no doubt.
By now, that's pretty obvious because she's tried to swing it 3 times and hasn't been able to get it there. That's easy for us to say, but I mean, but we know this because we bowl and we understand. That doesn't mean we'd execute it either. But the approach, how you go about it, is the thing you must change.
All right, Alex.
5-pin, good shot. A 7-pin, I should say, just couldn't carry. So we get into the latter stages now. Going to the 8th, the definitive edge for Dutchtown with the state championship on the line here. And a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. And a double at that. Bowling like a champion, Addison Lejeune. We haven't called it yet, but let's just say the decision desk is very close. At this point. Never want to jump the gun and be premature, but the Griffins looking really good to repeat as state champions.
You talk about winning.
And there's another great shot. And the reaction, obviously, Addison Acord showing you the emotion that you expect. There's a good shot here as well.
Good shot. continue to strike strikes.
Just well done. Just such good bowling with the pressure on. Did all day long. We talk about who's going to step up and handle it, and they've handled it. There's another good shot. And you got to give a lot of credit to the way Hamilton's bowling this game. She stepped up nicely. She just took a 2-pin lead in her match. Leah's been pocket every frame, and should be again. Is, and now she's not carrying everything, but she's making all of her spares.
Right. You keep it in play.
She's in play every frame.
Fill boxes. That's everything.
Mares struggling here, trying to find something, and finds 10 here.
Imploring her fans to take them to the very end here. It may be getting out of reach, though.
Such a good spare shooter. Very impressive. That's how you average 217.
Yeah. And look, how do you win? You don't, when you get a lead, you don't, in any sport, bowling or otherwise, you get a lead, and then you don't give teams a chance to get back in it.
Give them no hope. And that's pretty much what we're seeing. 2 frames left. Dutchtown in a commanding position to win the state championship here.
And, again, perspective here. You've only had repeat champions twice in the history of Louisiana high school girls bowling. So they're putting themselves in some elite conversation.
And a triple thrown by Addison Lejeune.
And
Dutchtown is on its way, folks. Can say that now for sure. Look at Lejeune's game, Lenny. She's on a 235 pace, and it could be bigger.
Yeah, she could strike out for 255.
Look at that entire high pit for Dutchtown. How good it has bowled this game. Your best bowlers bowling their best. Great combinations. Perfect shot, 10 pin.
And they've got a chance potentially here for a 1,200 final game. That's not out of the question, which hasn't been done all season in Louisiana.
On the girls' side?
On the girls' side, of course. We'll see 1 or 2 of those perhaps tomorrow on the boys' side.
Well, Liz Hamilton's bowled a good game, and she's up here on 25. Another good shot, but leaves a shaking 4-pin. To maintain a 1-pin lead in her match. It's, let's just say it, it's academic at this point, but you're still trying to win. Maintains a 1-pin edge, does Hamilton. Beautiful shot by Bodner. And Lee carries. Lenny's going to be talking to the winners here in just a little bit, and that's going to be the Dutchtown Griffins, folks, repeating as state champions in 2024. As they're poised to go back-to-back here in just another frame and a half. Here in Gonzales at Premier Lanes, Premier Entertainment. It's been a premier performance by Dutchtown when it matters most. In the 10th frame of game 2, changed 2 matches, and that really propelled them into this 3rd game, and they have absolutely taken total control of this match in the process.
We sat here a year ago. We knew last year was poised to be Dutchtown's year. They had all of those seniors. Bowlers, Ashton Yoch is leading the way, but they also had 4 non-seniors who were going to be back. It was just going to be a matter of, okay, now you've got to put in some other pieces. And, the coaching job that Karen Beam and her group have done this year to get the rest of these girls to be able to put together a formidable lineup, improve the ones you have already, and then get these others to take a step up to go back and repeat. That's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, just so impressive. When you lose that many bowlers and you're able to come back and do this
Good job, Alex.
a year later. special. Good shot. And a four-bagger. Now in the 240s and counting is Addison Lejeune.
Alex Young had a tough start of things today, but never stopped battling. Got a chance to finish here with 180.
Yeah, it got better as the day went on. And another strike. So she's going to be, right? Got a chance to bowl 180 here. She's throwing 4 in a row. And she does. That's beautifully done. So 180 game for Alex Young. Our best game of the championship series. Here's Lejeune looking for another. Right in the track. And got
the wall shot.
She's going to bowl in the 250s, folks. Big smiles, and you can understand why. Big smiles, big result, big performance. Looks like now the edge goes to touchdown at 5 as well. Looks like Chappelle could win a point, right?
Yeah, let's see what let's see what happens here in the 10th frame. Still a chance at 5, although Dutchtown has the edge for the moment. As that crosses over 254.
254 game.
And again, remember, this was the biggest game of the season.
It's awesome.
To step up in that kind of situation, that's huge.
And here is the Phil Ball. Hamilton trying to shoot 204. And
got it.
So that's going to force 19 pound here.
Got to have a strike somewhere.
Yep. All day Logue. Got that one right in the track. And
oh, wow, great shot.
Blowout 7-pin. Made a great shot. Has to make this and strike to win.
Yeah. But the only drama we have left at this point is what will be the final score. Is it going to be 19-8, 18-9, or you can have a tie, a half a point, 18.5 to 9.5, or 8.5, I should say, is not out of the question either.
Correct.
That is basically match 2 is not out of play at this point here.
There. It did. Yeah. Turned it over now. She needs a strike to win, a 9 to tie.
But probably not now after Harvey leaves the 1-2-9. But still had a chance there with a double and an open for Chappelle to steal number 2.
Not going to happen.
Not now.
Even though the championship's decided, you can see all day long how competitive she is. She's taking her time. She wants to win this match.
Hey, this is, your junior. This is the last shot of your season. Of course, they'll bowl in singles on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Lee, All Day Logue, Lejeune, Acord have all qualified in singles.
Good shot, and she got it. And she wins the match 205-204. All Day Logue with her second 200 game of the day. Splendid performance. Just splendid. Waiting for the final count here, but again, the high pair for Dutchtown. What a performance by these 3 bowlers. Lee smashes a 9-pin. She didn't carry anything this game. She's going to shoot the 2-0s and she hit the pocket every frame.
Right, but you know what? She filled boxes, made all the spares.
Hit the pocket every frame.
Yeah, and 6'9" counts up there, but she's making spares.
And now Barras is like, oh, okay, so now I make the set.
Yeah, right, exactly. Look, this is not the way Olivia wanted to finish.
No.
And here's the thing, okay, you got some seniors down on the lower end, but the core of the Chappelle team is all back next year.
Back.
Guess what? The core of this touchdown team is all back.
Exactly.
We may see this match again 52 weeks from now.
Very much good. Just to give all the credit in the world to Chappelle and Dorothy Hammer. What a wonderful season they've had. Terrific young ladies, great school. Just came up short here today. Just waiting for the final total now.
So touchdown is going to shoot 660 and change on the right side.
Yep.
They're going to be well over 1,100. I know I said 1,200 was in play at one point,
sure,
but it's still there, you know.
Just outstanding.
Yeah.
Lee to finish up. She'll be in the pocket again. You can rest assured. She is. That's 11 shots. 11 shots in a 1-2 pocket to shoot a 206. This is consistent as can be. Shoot 614 for the day. And again, typifies the touchdown performance. Make the 10 pin.
Make your spares. Make your spares. That's simple.
They've done it, and they've done it in brilliant fashion.
Yeah.
Throw plenty of strikes, and they win this thing going away.
6 pins on the fill will get them to 3,200 for the match. We mentioned they had that big semifinal win over Albany, in which they shot 32.94, the highest score in the state this year. And that's it.
Touchdown wins the state championship for the second consecutive year. Chappelle bowlers clapping for their opponents. Celebration ensues. And they did it in definitive fashion here in Game 3, Lenny.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, we talked about it. It's one game for your season, and they stepped up in a huge way. In a huge way.
Even won the match in the 11th frame with Logue striking to win that one. I mean, that just tells you about how dominant this performance was. A 7-1 game, correct?
Yes, 7-1.
Yep.
And, of course, taking over total as well. So
correct.
19-8 ends up the final. And, again, you see final scores in bowling, and it doesn't always tell the complete story. Because you see, you know, this was obviously a very, very tight match for more than 2 games, but Dutchtown delivered in Game 3 in a big way.
Just an impressive performance by the Griffins when it mattered most.
Yeah, they delivered. And again, remember, they were here a year ago. And that, I don't think you can, any sport ever undervalue the, you know, experience.
I mean, it's just something I think all the fans appreciated. A lot of
We'll go over to the trophy presentation. Rick Bourgeois will take us through that. Mike Federico will make the presentations.
Both teams were fighting so hard this match. And the first thing we want to do is that we're going to do some presentations. So I want to start out.
So Rick Bourgeois handling duties here with Vince Cassiopo of the LHSAA.
This year, and we want to congratulate Archbishop Chappelle.
And Chappelle getting there. Congratulations.
The presentation being done by the assistant executive director of the LHSAA.
Fortunately, there's a drink knocked down here, but we don't have to worry about it now with the bowling down. Although you might want to clean that up.
Or a match coming behind us. We get to deal with 2 more tomorrow.
For all the players. And the coach gets a brand new bowling pin, too.
So there's the Chappelle team, who had such a terrific season.
Yep.
Finished 15-1. Marvelous performance.
And look, for 8 of these 11 young ladies, their season isn't over. They'll be bowling in singles. And at 8,
that's right,
more than anyone else in the state, boys or girls, in terms of qualify. And there's only, keep in mind, on the girls' side, only the top 48 qualify for singles. That's 8 of the top 48 in the state.
Yep.
Y'all can do photos, parents, and other stuff like that. The next award we give, we started a few years ago. We thought it only appropriate. Talk to the media, talk to the paper people, and all that kind of stuff. And this year, I mean, she only had games, and I know she has a very high average, but folks, you still, when you have a 217 average, that means you have to have at least a turkey, can't have any opens. How do you know it's you? All right. It's a champ 219, 212, 234, slipped off of a 182, then had a 226, and then had a 206. And from Dutchtown, we have our MVP, Sydney.
Sydney Lee, the MVP.
No surprise there.
Yep.
And look, add in there, she had a 707 in the quarterfinals against St. Joseph's Academy. She has been outstanding down the stretch. She's been outstanding all year in leading this team back-to-back state champions.
And you love every aspect of it because she's left-handed.
Well, that too. That doesn't hurt.
She's outstanding, man. Really good.
At least a dozen of these girls will be
very pleased to see that.
Her singles final from last year.
And what everyone was able to accomplish here today, the semifinals and finals.
And now,
had to win a match to get here. Both did. Got here and got it done. And Dutchtown wins it back-to-back here in impressive fashion.
Champs for the LHSAA 2003-2004 season. Congratulations, girls. First place champs.
So here's the championship trophy being presented. To the Dutchtown Griffins. Extremely well done. We'll let Lenny be turned loose there and send him up to the front line here to get some conversation done with the winners from Dutchtown. So we'll let him make his way up there. The photo opportunity taking place for the championship team. Of course, we're going to be here tomorrow as well for the boys championships in Division II and in Division I. And we sure do look forward to being able to bring that to you live here on CrescentCitySports.com. It's going to be a pleasure to be able to do that. And we look forward to being able to bring it to you tomorrow. Again, the finals of the Division II boys championships and the finals of the Division I boys championships here tomorrow on CrescentCitySports.com from Premier Lanes and Entertainment Center in Gonzales. Todd and Matt doing a great job here today. Well, we couldn't do it without them. We deeply appreciate them and their service that they provide for us in professional fashion for the website. And again, the LHSAA allowing us to be a part of this and to be able to bring this to everyone around the state and around the world. And we sure do value that and appreciate the relationship and the opportunity to be able to do so and entrusting us with that duty. So again, congratulations to the winners. Championship trophy being hoisted. Lenny Van Gelder's going to make his way up there. And we'll be doing some interviews here momentarily, so we'll send him to the front. Should be able to accomplish that. Just a great job overall. So Lenny will head there, and we will go to him momentarily as soon as we can line up the best of the winners here. Be it Coach Beam, be it Sydney Lee, the Griffin team. What a great job they did here today. And they performed in brilliant fashion when everything was on the line here. So let's go to Lenny Van Gelder now. Lenny, take it away.
Right. Karen Beam, winning doesn't get old, I guess, but losing 6 seniors a year ago and then coming back and now going back-to-back, how did this team do it?
Our veterans who were on the team last year really stepped up this season. That would be Addison, Jada, and of course Sydney. They stepped up, worked on their games, put in extra hours on the lanes, And then we have 4 bowlers on the roster that literally started bowling 7 months ago. Our 1 and 2 bowlers tried out with plastic house balls. We got them equipment and drilled it. And all of them spent extra time with me and my husband Steve on the lanes, just trying to figure out the game and learn it. And it's just a testament to their determination, really. I mean, I'm just so proud of them. I can't even begin to explain it. They've really worked hard, and they deserve this.
A tight match going into the last game. That's not something either of these teams experienced much of, if at all, this year. What got you ready for the performance that you saw in Game 3?
Well, after Game 2, I said, we're down 40 pins, but that's just making more spares. I'm like, what have I been harping on all year long since the very first practice is you got to make your spares. I said, strikes are going to come, so let's stay focused, stay clean, and make up the pins, and you're going to walk out of here with the trophy. And they came out on fire, and it just went from there.
Let's bring your MVP and the high average in the state, Sydney Lee, in here. Sydney, Coach talked about it. Getting this team back here, you won a title a year ago. You won a singles title a year ago. How satisfying is it to come back with this group of girls and win another one?
Man, I'm at a loss of words. These girls have put in so much work, and the amount of practices we've had, all the drills, all the spare shooting, it has paid off, and I cannot be more proud of this team. I appreciate all the support throughout the entire year, and go Grips!
Talk the last game. Obviously, you've been in pressure situations a lot, bowling in tournaments at every level. But to see this team kind of lift up there in Game 3 and deliver like you did, just talk about where that came from.
It's just, we were dedicated, and having our fans back here cheering for us. The teammates are so supportive. One bad shot, we shake it off and move on to the next frame. I'm just so happy for us. I'm so proud of everybody.
You got 48 hours to recover before you get to try to defend a state singles title, and I know that's the next thing on your mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Congratulations. Dutchtown goes back-to-back, only the 3rd back-to-back champions in the history of LHSAA girls bowling. Ken?
All right, thank you very much, Lenny. Great job. Congratulations, Sydney. Congratulations, Coach Beam. Congratulations, Dutchtown. Brilliant performance. State championship here. Today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Quick Lane services all makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, and more. All done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. Must be a reason. So Dutchtown, a convincing 3rd game to pull away to win 19-8 over Archbishop Chappelle in what was just an outstanding performance by an outstanding team with everything on the line. That's simple, Lenny. They performed when they needed to.
They did. And, Karen Beam touched on it. Spare shooting, right? If you're not striking, you got to make spares. You stay clean. That's how you end up shooting over 1,100 in Game 3, over 3,200 for a series to deliver a state championship back-to-back. Denham Springs did it 4 years in a row. Academy of Our Lady did it in 18 and 19. Add Dutchtown to that list now. It's just the 3rd school ever to go back-to-back.
For the first time, we'll have a Division II state championship decided on the boys' side tomorrow. 4 teams competing there. We sure look forward to that.
Let's take a quick look.
And we'll have a championship there, and then we have a Division I championship tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at the 2 brackets tomorrow, starting with Division I. That'll be our 2nd final at 3:45, and seeds are all kind of blown up in that one. 1, 2, 3, and 4 went out in the quarterfinals or earlier, and so we'll have 5, 6, 7, and 16. I tell you what, as we've talked about, that Brother Martin Rummel semifinal match is going to be one whale of a match. Be looking to just be a spectator there. Slidell, the 16 seed, they're not a 16 seed by any means, not with their scores. Against Denham Springs, who won a dramatic quarterfinal over Alexandria Senior High to get back here to the semis. And then as you switch over to Division II, I would not be shocked at all if the seeds hold there, and Shaw and South Terrebonne, the 2 unbeatens, are right over here on this side at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon for the Division II state title. They would have an edge, at least on paper, over Patrick Taylor and Albany, but as we learned, you got to bowl the matches on the lane. Chappelle had a 60-pin edge in average coming into this one, and we saw what happened.
Indeed, it was a special afternoon for the Dutchtown Griffins, who get it done for a 2nd consecutive year, winning over Archbishop Chappelle 19-8 in the girls' state championship. We're back here tomorrow. Lenny, it's been a pleasure.
It has been.
Want to thank all for joining us and remind you once again to join us tomorrow as Crescent City Sports has coverage of both boys finals for our entire production team. Thanks to Todd, thanks to Matt, and everyone involved with making this happen. For Lenny Van Gilder, Ken Trahan from Gonzales saying thank you for joining us from the LHSAA Girls State Championship. Be a good sport as always. God bless you one and all. Rounding third and heading home. So long.